On the 22nd of August 2019, I got my GCSE results and it went like this. Mom, I need to see. Oh, wow. CJ, record. Let's see, well done. Well done, well done.
Oh my goodness.
Hey everyone. Okay, let's sort this out. Sort it out. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Maxine. I'm 17, and the year before last I did my GCSEs. I got all 8s and 9s in my GCSEs, and for people who don't understand what that means, it means I got all A stars and A stars in my GCSEs, or all A pluses and A plus pluses in my GCSEs. And if I'm being completely honest, in my year 10 tracking, so the summer before my GCSEs, the year before my GCSEs, I had a lot of 6s, I had a lot of 5s, I even had a 4, and it didn't look like I was going to achieve what I really wanted to achieve. And it took a lot of steps for me to do that, and I honestly believe that I went through all these steps so that I could tell you guys about it. So this is going to be, so these are 10 tips about how to get all 8s and 9s in your GCSEs. So the first one is dream big. And I know that's so cliche, but if once I got my year 10 tracking, my year 10 report, I started crying. I was not happy with it. I was not happy with my grades. I had worked really hard. Subjects that I thought I did really well in, I did really badly, like really badly. And I was not happy with what I had gotten. And I know that so many people can resonate with this, and so many people have gone through this experience, especially when you thought you did really good, especially when you thought you did really good in exam, or you've been participating really well in lessons, and then you get that slap across the face that, oh, sorry, that did not happen. That did not happen. So that's why I'm saying that the first tip, the first rule is dream big. So I really want you to sit down and just think, once I open that envelope, what is the best case scenario that could happen? If everything went perfectly, if every exam was as good as you want it to be, what is the best case scenario? And get a piece of paper and write down all your GCSE subjects. Then write down the grades that will make you scream with joy when you open that envelope. So for you, it might be all 9s, or it might be getting that 6 in that subject that you're still getting a 3 in, or it might be passing English and maths, or it might be getting certain grades so that you can do the subjects that you want at A-levels or IB. So write down, what is the best case scenario? What if you could achieve anything? What would it be? Then my second tip would be, know your why. So you know what you want in the best case scenario, what would you get? Why do you want it? Why do you want to achieve that? And it's a really important question, and most people don't actually think about it, but it's actually what motivates you to keep on working. And the reason why is that if your reason why is really bad, such as I want to do well because my friends are really smart, which was for a long time one of my reasons. I wanted to do well in school because my friends did well in school, and I didn't want to be seen as the dumb one in my group, or the charity case in my group where I wasn't this very smart one and everyone had to take their time to explain stuff to me. I hated that idea, and the only reason I worked hard was so that I could impress my friends or keep on par with my friends, and that's such a bad way of looking at it, especially because when it comes down to revising, you know, the only way you're actually going to succeed is studying and revising. When it came down to it, there was always that battle of, do I watch TV or do I revise? Do I watch TV or do I revise? And if my reason why, if the reason why I'm studying is so that I can be equal to my friends, well, my friends are watching TV too. They're watching Netflix, they're on YouTube too. So if I watch the Netflix, when I get into school tomorrow, we can all talk about Netflix and we're equal. So I'm gonna watch the Netflix. So that meant that my reason why was so not good enough. And your reason why has to be something that will actually motivate you. My number one reason why, I actually decided it during the summer before I went into year 11, and that I just wanted to make myself proud. I wanted to be able to look back at my year 11 self and be able to say, wow, thank you. I could not be able to do what I'm doing now had it not been for you. And the thing is, I still don't quite know what I want to do when I'm older, but when I was in year 11, I had no clue. I'm in year 12 now and acting as if I know everything. I really don't. But in year 11, I had no clue. But I just kept thinking that, you know what, I don't know what I want to do. And if you do know what you want to do, work so that you can achieve what you want. But if you don't know what to do, just have this idea in your mind that I want to make my future self proud. I don't want to turn up on results day and be bawling and be crying so hard just because I could have worked harder. And I really hated the idea of walking out an exam thinking, if I just revised that, I would have it. Because I had experienced that in year 10. I experienced that going into exam halls and coming out and thinking, I should have just revised harder. Like, I should have just, instead of glancing over it, I should have actually looked at it properly. I should have actually opened my book. Because it's, especially when it's stuff that's not necessarily hard, but you just didn't revise. And I knew that I never wanted to have that feeling again. So I really wanted to make myself proud. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I wanted to do after. I just really wanted to be able to say, look back at myself in year 11 and say, thank you. And that's all I really wanted. And the way that I implemented the steps I'm about to show you, I am able now that I have the grades that I got, I'm able to look back at my younger self and say thank you for doing what you did, because even I'm able to take these grades to use them for other things. So examples of good whys that you should think about is to make your future self proud, to prove to yourself that you can do it. Like I said before, I was in a friendship group for a long time where I felt like I was the dumb one. I felt like everyone in my friendship group was this abnormally smart person, and I was always about here trying to catch up. And every time I did catch up, there was always something else, and it always bewildered me, because then they come in and say they've watched all this TV, or say they've done all this extracurricular stuff, and I'm always thinking, where do you find the time? Because if you're constantly revising, how do you have time to be doing this and that? But if you're also, then it got me into this bad mind frame that, oh, they must have just been born smart. Not a thing. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. They were just revising and not telling me. They were just revising and lying about it. And I know that girls do this a lot, because I went to an all-girls school. So the friends I was talking about, all girls, and all of them lied. So they'll all sit up half the night revising and then come in the next day like, oh, we have a test today? Oh, I didn't even know. And I think it's this idea of false humility that I know that girls tend to do it a lot. I know it's not just girls, but girls tend to do it a lot. And it's something that you just need to throw out the window. If someone says they didn't revise, they're lying. Especially if they come out of good grades, they're lying. Completely and utterly. So, like I said, 1, to make your future self proud. 2, to prove to yourself that you can do it. And another good one is so that you can leave with a bang. So if you're not staying for sixth form, or if you are staying for sixth form and you want to change your image a bit for, you know, next chapter of your life, or you want to impress people, in the sense that you want to be memorable, the best way to do it is not by getting kicked out. No, it's by getting good grades. That's what I told myself. That's basically what I told myself. And I wanted to, because I changed schools for sixth form, so now I'm in a completely different school, and I just wanted to leave with a bang, like, oh yeah, you are gonna remember me. I don't know if it works, but it was enough to motivate you. So you need to know your reason why, what that is. Then the third thing is, if you look at the piece of paper, or if you thought about the grades that you want to get, look at what you want, then write down on the same piece of paper, write down what you have, all the grades that you've gotten so far, and work backwards. And what this means is that what you need to set kind of mini targets for yourself to say that if I want to get a 7 in geography and I'm currently getting a 5. That was unnecessarily rude and loud. You did not need to do that. I see you. No. I see you and I don't want to see. Okay, I'm ready. Okay. Let me just do the whole thing. 3, work backwards. Okay, like I was saying, you've written down all the things that you want to achieve. In the best case scenario, what grades would you get? Then you write down what you're currently getting and you think, how do I get from A to Z? So let's say, like I said in the example, you want to get a 7 in geography, but you're currently at a 5 or 4. Like I said, that was me. And you had to think about, okay, how do I do this? Like, how do I actually get from a 4 to a 5, or a 4 to a 6, or a 4 to the 7 that you really want to get? And I think this is where a lot of people miss it, because it's fun to write down in a perfect case scenario what would you get. It's fun to do that. But then when it comes down to actually putting down the steps to really achieve it, that's where it gets harder, and that's where people really fall off the bandwagon. But this is such an important step. So this step is a bit more realistic in a sense that you need to sit down and figure out what are your next steps. So if you want a 7 in geography but you're currently getting 5s, aim for a 6 in the next mock. And then when you're working towards that next topic test or your next mock, you're thinking, okay, I'm trying to go up a level. How do I do this? What do I need to do to go from a 5 to a 6? What do I need to do to get from a 4 to a 5? And what I realized that the more you try and implement the techniques that, as soon as you make that shift in your mind that, oh, I'm not trying to stay at 5, I'm trying to get to a 6. Once you make that shift, you realize that you end up hitting 7 so much faster because your mind is geared to work. It's like, it's as if you're being chased by a bear. I know it doesn't seem like it's going to relate, but I'm going to force myself to make it relate. So it's like going for a jog. You're going for a jog. Everything's cool. And you're running. You can run fast, but nothing's chasing you. But as soon as that bear comes to chase you, you're running. You're actually running this time. You're forcing yourself to run because you don't want to be eaten by a bear. And it's the exact same concept that when you're just allowing yourself to just go with the flow and see whatever your grades get, you could easily do well. If you're a good runner, you will do well. But once you give yourself a target and give yourself a goal and actually try and achieve that, it's like the scenario of you being chased by a bear, that you actually start to sprint. And I promise you, it's not as terrifying as being chased by a bear, but it does illustrate the point. So number 4 is to do an audit. So this links on to number 3, which is to work backwards. So to summarize for number 3, for your next mocks or for your next topic test or for your next end of term test, try and write down everything that you would want to achieve. So this should be about halfway between what you want to achieve in the end for the end of year results or for your GCSEs, and your mocks or end of term tests should be about halfway between where you are now and where you want to be. So this way it's a bit more manageable, because sometimes when you're looking at the big leap from in my case it was really a 4 to a 9, and I think a 5 to an 8, and maybe a 4 to a 9 as well. In certain subjects I really did go from a 4 to a 9, and when you're thinking that, oh, I really want to get a 9 in this subject, and you have a 4, it's so daunting. So number 4 is to do an audit. What do I mean by that? So you have your piece of paper, you have your current grades, you have what you want to achieve in the mocks, and then you have what you want to achieve in the GCSEs or at the end of the year. Then you make the steps even smaller. So if I'm for geography, let's say I have a 4, I want to get to a 7 for the marks, and the real thing, I really want a 9. Like geography, I'm really strong with it, and it'd be amazing if I got a 9. That was literally me in the beginning of year 10, because I thought that geography, I don't like it, I don't want to do it, but it would be amazing if I got a 9 in it. So I thought for the marks, I really want a 7, but I'm still getting a 4, and that jump just between a 4 and a 7 is so daunting. So that's why you should do an audit, which is step number 4. And this is where you make sizable chunks. So if you're trying to get from a 4 to a 7, what does your next report have to look like between the mocks and now? So if you're currently at a, let's say, I don't know about all schools, but my school separated the grades into 3 levels. So you had a 4A, which is like you've really mastered this level. 4B, this is standard, and then 4C, you just scraped it. So let's say you're at 4C, you just scraped the 4. Maybe next tracking you want to get to a 5C, so you just scraped into the 5s. Then the next one you want to get a 6B, so you're a comfortable 6. Then the next one you want to aim for a 7. You want to aim for a 7C, BA, who cares, you got the 7. And then you do the same thing. Once you hit the marks, you do the same thing for the other part of the year, where you go from a 7 and you want to go from a 7, let's say B, to an 8C, to an 8B, and then to a 9 in the GCSEs, or to a 9 in any sort of mock that you have before your GCSEs. And I think when you do like that, it makes everything so much easier, and it makes it seem realistic. It makes it seem like it could actually happen. And I know for me it did happen. So if it happened for me, it will definitely happen for you, because it's not like I have fairy dust. I mean, I have the word of God, but it's not like I have fairy dust. And the last tip, well, the last tip for now, this will be 2-parter, is track your progress. The reason I say this is that as you're going through the year, it's good to set all these goals now at the beginning of the year, but as you go through the year, you're not going to remember what you did right now in August, or right now in September or October, whenever you're watching this. So it's important you track your progress, and this is by making sure that you write down, when you have your reports, write down what you're getting, write down what you've achieved, write down, okay, so something that I did that I saw my friend doing, I thought, oh, that looks nice. Before each report, write down what you expect to get. And this can be realistic. It doesn't have to be oh, I want a 7, so I'm going to write the 7. No, right now I think I'm going to get a 5. I'm currently a 4 in geography, but I think I'm going to get a 5. In history, I'm a 6. I think I'm going to stay a 6, because a 6 is good and solid. But for English, I think I'm going to get that 7. I've been working really hard. I think I'm going to get 7. And before, it can literally just be before you pick it up, before you look at it, because it came an email or in the mail, before. Just as when you know the time is coming for your report to come, just sit down and write a little list of what you think you got, then write in your actual grade and compare it. And actually, some of the time it's a bit lower, and if it is a bit lower, it's fine, it's just a prediction, it was your own list prediction. And then other times, a lot of the time it can actually be higher or stay the same, and that's fine. But it's also about knowing that if you're tracking your progress, you can actually see when you've gone up. Because, for example, I say geography because geography was real. I started the year, I had a couple of 4s and a 5s. I was like a solid 5 with occasional slips into 4, and I ended up getting a 9 in the GCSEs. And that's not because I became some beautiful and amazing geographer and I suddenly learned to love it, and I sat up every single night. I don't even know. I don't do geography anymore. I don't even know what I would need to do for that. No. I could do series where I talk about different subjects and the subjects that I did and how I've revised for them, so I could do well. And I'd love to do that, so comment down below if you'd love to see that. But it wasn't anything that someone else couldn't implement, because like I said, don't have fairy dust. I have Jesus, but not fairy dust. But tracking my progress for that subject in particular was actually really, really helpful, because in the end it actually motivates you. Because if I see that I'm getting a 6 right now and I really thought I'd be getting a 7, but if I look back and turn a couple pages, I saw that, wow, in a few months I really went from a 4 to a 6. Wow, a 4 to a 6. I started year 10 with a 4, but now here I am near the middle or end of year 10 and I have a 6. wow, that will motivate you so that you can end up getting that 7. And that's exactly what happened to me. That about 3 courses into a year, I was thinking, I've been getting a 6 for quite a while. But it was only until I looked through and saw what I had to be getting at the beginning of the year that I thought, wow, 4 to a 6 in less than a year. And that really pushed me, and that really pushed me, so that by the end of year 10 I got the 7 that I really wanted, that I wanted to get at the end of year 10. Then going into year 11, I wanted to carry on. I wanted for each major test to go up 1. So for the end of year 10, a 7, mocks an 8, and then for the GCSEs I really wanted a 9, and that's exactly how it happened. And it's because I implemented these 5 things. 5 for this video, part 2.